All right.
All righty. Okay. Will you start the recording then?
Yes, it started.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome. We have really some great participation here. Happy New Year. I hope everybody is doing great in this crazy time. But anyway, welcome. And hopefully you all will leave with some good takeaways about LinkedIn. I am Nicole Vanden Heuvel. I'm the Executive Director for the Center for Career Development, and I'm joined by my colleague and friend. Go ahead, Alexa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alexa Schwartz. I'm in the Office of Alumni Relations.
Fantastic. Okay, so I do know that we have students. We also have alumni on this call, so I am going to try to make it appeal to the broad audience. Okay, so what do we know and why is LinkedIn important? And I am going to ideally show you not only why LinkedIn is important, but also you will walk away feeling much more confident about having a really strong LinkedIn profile. Now, we know everybody is recruiting today via LinkedIn, and it's not so much anymore of, should I have a LinkedIn profile? It's, yes, I should have a LinkedIn profile, and my profile should be as professional as possible. Think about having a LinkedIn profile and take the same attention to your LinkedIn profile as you would to your resume. Okay, it's really that important. And what are we using LinkedIn for? Primarily, obviously, to show your personal brand, but also to make connections, to research, get answers, and bottom line is also apply for jobs. Everyone here knows that Handshake is our #1 recruiting platform at Rice, but LinkedIn is another phenomenal tool for you, as well as Indeed and that kind of thing. But if I had to say, if I should only go to 2 platforms, start with Handshake for sure, and then LinkedIn should be your next go-to. So you guys are seeing my screen, and I am going to use some real live examples to show you what I am trying to impart here, okay? And I'm going to make it easy because if you just do the top 3 things that I'm going to talk about, you will be well on your way to having a very strong LinkedIn profile. Okay, here I am in this is my homepage. And your homepage is going to look very different than mine because in the middle, this is the people that I follow. It's going to feed down on the people that I'm following. So my link is going to be different and my feeds are going to be different than yours. Okay, here there are LinkedIn. I always find these interesting, the LinkedIn news. They're pulling this data from the gazillion amounts of information that they have. So this can be pretty interesting just to see, like, for example, who's hiring, that kind of thing. And viewed courses. LinkedIn does have a fair amount of courses too that you can get certificates on. Okay, so let's go to me, my profile, and I'm clicking that. Okay, this is my profile, and these are so easy that these things are in your control. So feel like you have the power to do this, and you have the power to show who you are. This is your personal brand. And so what becomes super important for sure is #1, here's your first key, is your profile picture and your background here, okay? And this is something you control. So figure out, how do I show up? How do I want people to see me? Our visual image is very, very important. And the background's very important. And also, here's another cool thing is you don't need to go to a professional photographer, okay? Our phones have a lot of capability. Put it on a portrait mode. You can see that the background is muted, and show up looking like you're going to an interview. You don't have a job yet, or if you do have a job, you still want to look professional. So pay very strong attention to, what is my picture saying about me? Ideally, my picture is saying, okay, she's professional, right? I'm wearing a jacket. I'm open, I'm receptive. I'm a friendly person. Ideally, that is what I'm trying to project. And obviously also professionalism. So really pay attention to that. Don't get into the Facebook mode where you have a nice picture and you've cut off somebody's arm and their arm is in the picture. I just want to see you, and this is all we need to see. Head and shoulders. That's it. And the LinkedIn box you can see is not very big. So that's really important. What is this background? If you are in LinkedIn and you haven't filled it out, this background will show up as blue. Now, why is this important? Because it shows professionalism. It shows that you're taking the time to make your profile very professional and that you're crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's, like I say, like a resume. I just happened to be at the Moody Art Center. I liked the artwork. This is an artist. I love the energy and I love the colors. And I thought, oh, this will resonate. I like it. And when I put it up there, I like the fact that kind of it was taking some of the green energy from my picture up, just forward moving. So it felt like it just had a lot of energy and movement. So this is number one. Nod your heads. Do you think you can do it? Yes, you can. Okay, so that's also in your control. So check that box. Number two, this is super important. It's your heading. Okay, now look at my heading. There are already 4 pieces of information that you have when you look at my heading. You have my title, executive director. You have what I do, career development. You have where I work, Rice University, and you have location, Houston, Texas. Yes, you'll say, well, why are you putting it here? It's redundant. Doesn't matter. You can be redundant in LinkedIn. Remember that people are looking at LinkedIn even maybe less than the time they're spending on a resume. And later on, I'll show you what am I looking at when I'm looking at somebody's profile, okay? So you students out there, never, ever, ever just put in your title, student at Rice University. Oh my gosh, you're leaving out so much information. What are you studying? Are you studying opera? Are you studying chemical engineering? Are you studying English? So use the title to have key words about yourself. And here's an example that you could use. Here's Will Ledig. Look at this. This is very iconic, and this is a nice background picture. Good job, Will. That's all we want to see. He looks professional. He's leading with his major, computer science and data science student at Rice University. That works, y'all. People know what computer science means and data science. Here's my other friend, Taylor Crane, who's also a student at Rice University. She's studying English, but she's very interested in getting into communications and marketing. And so she decided to put up here her title at her internship at Electronic Arts. She separated it with a line. And then she also put here, founder of the Rice Creative Society. She's a DEI champion. She's a writer. So you can see she's used this to just also put in keywords. Anything goes, remember, as long as you're getting your brand across, okay? LinkedIn is a forward-thinking site for you. In other words, you're trying to project out to somebody who's going to hire you. What are you interested in doing? What are you good at? Here's on a professional side. Here's my friend, Andrea Metz, and she's a Rice alum. And again, good picture of her city, looks professional. She has just led by keywords, program and project and program manager, dash, operations leader, strategy and risk controller, okay? So when you read the title, again, one should get a very clear understanding of what it is you're interested in and what it is you're interested in doing. Okay? Any questions on that? If you have questions, put it in the chat, please. Okay, now this 1 picture, 2 title, 3 about. The about section is just as important, if not more important. What's the first thing you notice in the about section? Only the first 3 lines show up. So you want to make that count, okay? So if somebody actually has to say, oh, I'm interested in learning more about Nicole, let me click and more. Okay. Thanks, Christy, for muting yourself. So this is a description of kind of who I am, what I'm doing. And I put in this description, I've not just worked at Rice for 14 years, but I had another career before Rice. And so I say, what if someday I'm not working at Rice anymore? What if I want to get out of education? I want people to be able to read this and see, oh, Nicole has some other experience and other skill sets in case I wanted to do something else. Okay. So the about section, again, is very important. Let's check out Will's about section. Good, Will. He's kept it very short. But again, first 3 lines, you don't have to lead with I am, blah, blah, blah. You can just kind of also put it like in a bullet form. What is Taylor saying about herself? Senior English business, working in a variety of audiences. And here she's going a little bit more. I love this, that she has put this in here, and email me. And you could say, well, we have it here too. But again, you want to hit your audience over the head with, here's who I am. Here's how easy it is to see my skill set and my interests. And here's my friend, Andrea. And I did coach her on this, and I'm happy to say with our coaching, she has landed a great new job. Okay, look at how Andrea is. I think this is a really, really strong format. So the first paragraph is kind of like, here's what I've done. My 30-second pitch, this is what I've done. Again, she's reiterating her keywords, okay? The spaces in here are intentional because you want to make it easy for your audience to read. So first here's who I am. Keywords here that resonate with what your expertise is, okay? And you guys all have an expertise, so think about how that applies to you. Boom, space, email, boom, space. Here's the next paragraph of, here's really what I'm passionate about. So it's taking off of this first paragraph, and then this is a nice way for you to personalize it. In a resume, it's hard for us to say, everything you're passionate about, and the resume has to be a little bit more cut and dry. Here's an opportunity for you to talk about what you're really interested in doing. Intentional space, and then key competencies. This, I told her, list it out this way. You want to make it easy for your reader to see who you are and what you're good at. Okay, now, haven't I made it easy already? You guys should feel empowered, like, wow, I got this. This is easy. I can do my picture, I can do my title, and I can do my about section. Okay, question?
Hey, Nicole, we have a few questions in the chat.
Go ahead.
So Justin is asking about if you're undecided, how would you include several of your interests in your heading? And on a similar note, Jack has asked about, what about interests or strengths that you haven't been able to substantiate with a project or internship yet?
Well, you could, okay, let me ask the first question is, if you are undecided, you're not really sure what you want to do. Well, you might be undecided, but I bet, Justin, there are some areas that you are interested in, right? You applied to college. I'm assuming you're in college. I'm assuming you applied and you're taking some classes in certain areas. Don't worry. So put that down. Maybe you could say, if maybe you want to lead with your major. Maybe you want to just lead with key words that you think define you. Maybe you want to, maybe your title could be interested in getting into consulting. That also would work too. I mean, we have people, we have people that are music majors. As a matter of fact, Andrea herself, she studied music at Rice, and you can see that she's into project management. So obviously she wasn't going to put that she was a music major at Rice. And if you have, so I hope I answered that question. The second question of how do you talk about skill sets if you haven't done it in a project and a major? If you feel like you have that skill set, put it down. Let somebody ask you about it, okay? Maybe you're working on these skill sets. You can also put it that way. You could put this in your about section, and you could say something like, developing skills in, if you feel like, hey, I'm not really totally great in Excel, but I'm taking a class right now in Excel. So like I said, you guys, anything goes as long as you are telling your story and you're getting your brand out. And here's the litmus test. If all somebody saw was your picture and your title and your about section, they should have a very strong understanding of who you are, what you're good at, and what you're interested in. Okay, what are you good at and what are you interested in? Everything else beyond here is gravy. Okay, everything is gravy. And here's why I love LinkedIn, because it allows you to add so many different sections. I'll show you about that in a second. Okay. I have LinkedIn Premium, which means I'm paying a lot of money every year to get LinkedIn Premium so that people can look at my profile. You do not need LinkedIn Premium, even if you're an alum and you've been out for many years. Unless you're a recruiter, you don't need LinkedIn Premium. Don't waste the money. How LinkedIn is making their money is through job postings, okay? You do not need it as a student, as an alum. I'm doing it because I need to know, this is what I do. This is my business. I need to know all about LinkedIn, okay? But this shows me who's viewed my profile and that kind of thing. Now, I'm gonna come back to the post. So this should be fairly easy for you all to fill in. You have a resume. If you don't have a resume, come see us at the CCD and we'll help you with that. You can cut and paste a lot of your bullets, okay? So scroll on down so you can see, people have to really be interested to see, okay, wow, well, I wanna know what Nicole is doing. This is the most important thing, the most current thing that you're doing. And you can also rearrange them in the edit section. This is how you'd add, this is how you'd add, this is how you would edit. Okay, scroll on down, and you want to then talk about, here you could add, all the other stuff that you're doing. Maybe I'm not focusing so much on this because you can see how old I am, right? I've been out of school for a long time. So I'm focusing on my experience. So skills and endorsement, and recommendations, these are the two very important sections as well, okay? Basically, after you get beyond 99 people, it'll just show you 99 plus, okay? So this says that over 99 people have said, I'm pretty good in career development. I'm pretty good in career counseling. I'm pretty good in management. And you can add a new skill here if you wanted to. And here's the cool thing. If you're like, I don't really know how to talk about this skill, put something in and it will feed you some suggestions here, okay? So you don't have to come up with the words. And you also want to use the words that other companies are using. So this is a fantastic feature. Don't be humble about your skill sets. Put it down. However, never lie. Okay. If you say you're pretty good at something, you gotta stand behind that. Okay. We don't lie on resumes and we don't embellish our profile as well. And you can also rejigger these. So if you said, okay, actually, I want to make sure that I'm applying for a management job, I want management to show at the top, I'm going to reconfigure that. And then it will show me that management is now my top skill. Okay. So what is the difference between endorsements and recommendations? Endorsements are people that are just saying, hey, I'm clicking this endorsement, Nicole's pretty good at it. I'm clicking Alexa's skill set and Alexa is really good at alumni engagement. Okay, I'm saying Alexa's really good at that. A recommendation is actually somebody that has taken the time to write something about you. Okay, and I've received 8, I've given 10. And here's how you would ask for a recommendation. I get a lot of students who say, oh gosh, I'm really shy. I don't want to ask anybody for a recommendation. You've got to get over that. Okay. Because here's Alexa's great profile. And this is how I would ask Alexa. Okay, select our relationship. We worked together. Let me see. Reported was a senior. We worked with Alexa. Okay. Position at the time. Okay, here. Then next. Here's what automatically defaults. Hi, Alexa, could you write me a recommendation? Ideally, you want to write something else. I'm looking to strengthen my LinkedIn profile. You know, I would love getting a recommendation from you, and I would be happy to write you a recommendation. Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to send that, but get over the fact that, oh, it feels weird to ask somebody. Obviously, be thoughtful about who you're going to ask, but maybe volunteer to write a recommendation. And you students, you can get a recommendation. Maybe you're working on a project together with another student. Write a recommendation about each other. That's very doable. And I always tell, somewhat tongue in cheek, but I kind of mean it. Get with your friends and say, look, I'm going to endorse you. Will you endorse me? Let's have an endorsement party. But so that you can endorse your skills. Okay. You want to start building that up, and don't feel shy about strengthening your LinkedIn profile. And by the way, everybody here, here's your homework too. What is my job? My job is making and helping people make career connections. Okay. If you can practice reaching out to me, practice messaging me, because invite me to be part of your group. I know a lot of people, and I spend a lot of time actually putting people in touch with my network. I don't need to know you personally to accept you into my network, because if you're at Rice, I'm all about helping our Rice fellow students and alumni. So get connected with me in the LinkedIn family, and I will connect back. Now, if I'm going to recommend you, I need to know you, obviously. I'm not going to just recommend you to Alexa if I have not met you. But this is a good way for you to start, get connected with me, because like I said, I know a lot of people.
So Nicole,
Okay.
we've got
Yes.
a few minutes left. Ryan is asking about whether it's appropriate to include the GPA on your profile. And Shyla is asking if the CCD reviews your LinkedIn profile.
Absolutely. We will link, we can review your LinkedIn profile. And yes, if you're proud of your GPA, absolutely put it in there. Okay. Look at all these great things in these profile section. This is why LinkedIn is so fantastic for students, because you can put in, here's, maybe I've worked on a project, courses, test scores. Here's your test scores, languages, organizations, put all that stuff in there. Now, one last thing. I know we have, we're slated till 12:30, but get off if you need to. I do want to show you an important feature, and then I want Alexa to talk about Sally Portal. The big thing about what we're going to be doing for LinkedIn is also looking for jobs, right? Chemical engineer. I'm just going to put this in. Let's see what I get. Okay. Hello, LinkedIn. Okay. In jobs. Okay. So the top jobs will show up that have been the most recent, right? Or maybe they're also, this looks like a cool job. Maybe they're being promoted. So I pull this on, and here's the job. You can see it was posted 2 months ago. It's got 600 views. Here's about Tesla. As you all know, they're also coming to Austin real soon. Here are the requirements, level, that kind of thing. Applicants, don't worry about this because I've got the premium. But one thing I always tell people too is use job descriptions and job duties to help you build your own profile. If you like how this is said, and it's like, oh, yes, I have been able to develop positive work relationships. I like how they've said it. Cut and paste it and put it in LinkedIn, okay? Don't worry about plagiarism in LinkedIn. This is the only place I say it's okay to plagiarize, because use their language and use what it is, how they're describing it. I am going to stop sharing so that Alexa can show us a little bit about Sally Portal. You want to do that? Continue to write your questions, you all, and I will look at the chat.
All right, great. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you,
everyone
Yvette.
see
Yes,
it?
our PCAs. Go ahead, sorry.
Everyone can see the screen? I'm assuming yes, unless I hear otherwise. Okay. So I just want to talk for a few moments about, thank you, Joshua. I just saw your message in the chat. I just wanted to talk for a few minutes about Sally Portal, and feel free to put in the chat if you've heard of it, if you haven't heard of it. But really, Sally Portal is Rice's professional development platform that's focused on mentorship and making connections. And so this is something, it's a platform that's open to all members of the Rice community. It's often talked about that it's almost like a Rice version of LinkedIn, but what I like to emphasize is that it's really about, it's a space where you can get help, ask for mentorship, and eventually when you're an alum, you can offer help and mentorship to students and alumni. And so I just wanted to share this post that was from last month from Dr. Marr, who's a member of the CCD Alumni Advisory Board. He was on the Alumni Association Board, and he's a Sally Portal champion and a champion of supporting Rice students. And he's talking about how alumni are eager to help you and happy to talk to you about careers, about doing informational interviews, reviewing your resume. And Lee posted and responded and said that sometimes they feel nervous or out of place and maybe feeling awkward. And so our hope is that through Sally Portal, you'll be able to see, for example, on Michael's profile, that he has listed these ways where he's willing to help and offer mentorship. And so we hope that it can be a way for you to take some of the pressure off, because you can see, oh, these are all specific ways that this person has said that they're willing to help Rice students. And so don't hesitate to reach out to the Rice network as you're growing in as you're both a Rice student and as you're growing in your careers. And so I just want to show a few key features of the platform. So if you click on the homepage, Sally Portal has a main feed that's similar to any kind of social networking site. But this is where people will post positions or post announcements or asking for help. So you can see Ellen has posted some positions for current students or recent grads related to public health. Similarly, there's an extern intern opportunity listed here. And then Kate, for example, is asking for recommendations. And so this is just a place where it's a good place to start if you're looking to ask for help. If you go to the right corner, this is where your profile lives. And so you can pull in, once you've developed an incredible LinkedIn profile, after we heard from Nicole, you can link your LinkedIn profile to your Sally Portal account. So it'll pull in all of that information from LinkedIn, so you're not having to enter it twice. But you can include your Rice University education and campus activities, answer these questions, and have your profile picture that's already been developed, as Nicole said. And so you can also, on your profile, this is where you'll be able to see, where you'll be able to select from a menu of options about these are the ways that you're looking for help or mentoring. And so I've selected all of these options. And so that makes it really easy when you're in the directory, which is the second part that I wanted to show you. You can search, people can search, for example, if I was an alum that was interested in helping a student, I can search for students that are looking for help in certain areas where I can help. And so the directory is a great place to go if you're looking for maybe somebody who's worked at a particular company that you're interested in, maybe someone that's at the same who is at the same residential college as you, or studied the same major. And so you can use these filters on the right-hand side to filter by, for example, alumni affiliation and college, and you could type in a company, for example. And then I see that there's a question about linking the LinkedIn and Sally Portal accounts. So that's something we're going to have to re-sync your account on LinkedIn if you've made any changes. And so what I did, I was on the profile and I clicked this gear icon. And then this is where you can connect and sync your LinkedIn account. And that will just direct you to log into LinkedIn, and it'll ask you to give permission to do so. So we've talked about the profile, we've talked about the main feed and the directory. And lastly, I just want to talk about the mentoring page. I know that there's a lot of information and we don't have a ton of time. And so I do want to emphasize that I'm more than happy to walk you through the platform at any time, happy to chat over the phone or on Zoom. But mentoring is at the core of what Sally Portal is. And so this is a great place to start if you're looking for an alumni mentor or a member of the Rice community, like a parent or a faculty staff who's willing to help you. This will pull in suggested mentors based on what you've put into your profile. So based on the options you've selected, based on the information you've put in around your education, and you can see that there's certain percentages of matches. You can find mentors based on the company, industry, even location. So whether you're at home for the semester or over the summer, you can find mentors connected to Rice in your area. Or you can just, it'll direct you back to the directory where you can use those filters to kind of choose your own.
Alexa, got a good question here. I don't know if you've shown it. I was looking at something else too. Can you show us how to link the two together?
Sure.
And then another question is, if you link your LinkedIn and Sally Portal accounts, will your Sally Portal profile automatically change when you update your LinkedIn, or do you need to relink every time?
Right. So to get to that LinkedIn account connection, you'll click that arrow here, and that'll take you directly to the account settings. And this is always a good place to start if you're needing to update your email address or update your notifications. But this is where you'll connect your account. And if you make any changes on your LinkedIn profile, you will need to resync it after with your Sally Portal account if you're wanting to maybe update and add education or a position. The last thing I want to show is our alumni page, which is alumni.rice.edu/Sally Portal. This is a great place to start. If you are just looking to get more information on Sally Portal, there's some videos, more information on mentoring settings and finding a match, and some conversation starters if you're looking to make that connection. And so these are based on different career stages based on your class year. And so if you're wanting to send a message, that was the last thing I meant to say, to somebody. So if I were to send a message to Nicole, there she is. There's a few things that I can do. If I was specifically wanting her to help me in some way, I could click one of these buttons, either request mentoring or request help. And I can choose one of those options. And I can write her a quick message saying that these are the things I'm interested in. Would she be willing to meet with me for a 20-minute phone call to talk about interview preparation? And you can also choose to just send her a general message. And when I do that, she will get an email letting her know that someone has messaged her on Sally Portal.
Is that video chat a new feature?
It is.
So you're actually recording yourself, sending the video?
No, it's I think it's to set up a it wouldn't be like I would immediately start calling you on Zoom. It would I think it'd be more to, hey, like let's set up a time to talk over Zoom or
Got it.
Video chat. But that was just a very quick overview of Sally Portal. Again, I'm more than happy to answer questions, to chat over the phone or on Zoom. I'll put my email in the chat as well as the link to the
I put my link in there as well. And everybody, I also wanted to tell you, if you go into the, Alexa, will you get out for a second? Let me just get in. I wanted to show something here. Share screen. I just want to, here, share. Okay. Right here in the symposium, that's how you guys got on to this seminar, sorry, LinkedIn. Under presentations, there's a LinkedIn handout. Okay, this is all the stuff I talked about. And then also on the other side, there's kind of a sample outreach email. Like if I had to email somebody, what would I say? Okay. My only thing is when you're reaching out to people, always be specific. I know you're trying to be nice and say, hey, please feel free to reach me when you have time. Okay. You're just inviting somebody to say, well, that's really nice, but I really don't have the time. So be specific in your ask. Would you have 10 minutes in the next week or so to connect? Somebody is going to be much more likely to respond to that versus, hi, Alexa, I know you're so busy. Would you have time to meet with me sometime at your convenience? So I know you're trying to be polite, but that's going to give Alexa the excuse to say, you know, I really am busy. I'll try to get to it maybe at time when I have time. So have a specific ask and don't ask for somebody for an hour from somebody's time. People don't have that. Just start in very small increments.
And there was a question in the chat. So when you're on the Forager One symposium page, you'll see there's a welcome page, a presentations and live sessions. The live sessions are the ones like where you found the link for today's meeting. And the presentations are the asynchronous resources. So these will include the recordings from this week's sessions, as well as past recording panels and workshops and general informational sessions.
There are a lot of resources in there. So do take advantage of it. I'm so impressed that you guys have showed up today. And I hope that you got something out of this. Feel free to connect with us in the CCD or connect directly also to Alexa, who's a fantastic resource for you all. Is there a PDF for the LinkedIn handout? Well, this handout, aren't you able to download it?
Yes. So I just put a link in the chat. I think that should work if you're already logged in into the Forager One page. But if you go into the presentations tab and search for LinkedIn as the keyword, you'll be able to find that handout.
Any other questions?
Will the presentation resources still be there after this week? Jack, that's a good question. I'm not sure how long the this page will be live, but I think it.
I think so.
I think it will be accessible.
Okay, James, you can't seem to download the file. Okay, y'all. We'll have to figure out a way to get that out. Let me do some brainstorming on that. If you can't download it, interesting. Okay, that's a good question. For the city shown in our profile, should we put Houston because of Rice, or should we put our hometown? Great question. If you think that you want to be staying in Houston, put Houston. If you are saying that, you know, I'm from California, I actually want to go back to California, that's a great way to put California in your profile. Again, put in there what works for you. Now, thankfully, with so many things going remote, the city is not as critical.
Any other questions related to LinkedIn, Sally Portal?
One last thing I will say also, which I did not get into LinkedIn. Since I have people here, I'll just show you one more thing, okay? And I didn't really talk about that. Having activity is also a good way to get you noticed, okay? So when people are, posting stuff. So here, I posted this. And it came out of the Wall Street Journal. I thought I had some good resume tips, and I can see that 1,300 people looked at this. So that's a great way. Look how fast people are looking at it. It says how long the read is, reactions. You can actually, and also use that as a way maybe that you also want to comment on somebody else's post, because that is another great way to get yourself looked at. Okay, mindful of time, and I wish you all the best. I hope you guys are going to have a start to a great semester. Last question, is LinkedIn or Sally Portal better for reaching out? They're both excellent. They're both excellent tools. I always like to say start with Sally Portal, because Sally Portal, you know that everybody who is in Sally Portal has had to personally get in there, okay? And everybody who's in Sally Portal is either saying, I'm a student, I'm looking for help and connections, or I'm an alum and I'm willing to offer my help and connections and advice. So I think Sally Portal is a place that I would start, but you don't have to do one or the other. But if you're like, I want to go into it slowly and feel like somebody's going to really listen and answer me, I would say start with Sally Portal, because the ice has already been broken.
I agree. I think being able to see the ways that people have already put on their profile that they're willing to help, I think that that can help take some of the pressure off, because you know, for example, that, oh, this person has said that they're willing to have an informational interview with me, or they're willing to put in that time, versus LinkedIn, they may not be open or available or have the time at that moment to do those kinds of things.
Exactly. Alexa, you controlling the recording? Okay, so we can stop the recording.
Right.